Let's start with Ben Bolch from the LA Times.
Hey, David, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, thank you. So block punts for touchdowns are pretty rare at UCLA. I think the last one was in 2016. Can you take us through the play and seeing the ball kind of come out and everything you saw there?
Yes, sir, of course. Thank you for the question. It was kind of one of those things. We'd worked a little bit in practice here and there. The coaches saw a look. Ollie and I had talked about it, that we would just go in there and execute our job and, do whatever the team needed. Opportunity presented itself. I saw Ollie block it. It was kind of one of those slow motion deals where you see it happening, you don't really believe it. And then I was kind of in the right place at the right time. And, I just scooped and scored, and it kind of took a second to register what had just happened. But then after that, the rest is history.
What did that feel like?
It's kind of a tough feeling to describe. It was just kind of sheer bliss. I mean, ever since coming here, it's kind of been one of those dreams to score a touchdown in the Rose Bowl. And it's kind of one of those things that, I think every kid grows up dreaming about, is scoring a touchdown at, any college. But the Rose Bowl has just so much history and tradition that it really made it, special.
Was there a weakness in their formation that you spotted that contributed to it?
No, I mean, everything that we saw on film, they looked really sound. And it was just kind of one of those things that we went in there and we just executed, and it happened the way it happened.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to Mike Regalado from Bruin Report.
Hey, David, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good, thank you. Quick question. Aside from the offense and the defense getting some praise, the special teams. Obviously, you just talked about it. You guys got a touchdown off a block punt, but the kicking game was pretty on par. Just everything with the special teams was pretty good. What can you say about what we can see in the coming weeks with the special teams?
Thank you for the question. Coach Sage does a really good job of putting everybody in a good place to succeed, both on the field and in the meeting rooms. We all, meet as a unit and watch film together. And I think a big part of it is guys that have played in the past. We have, in terms of the punt, this is Luke's second year. He kind of got his first year jitters out last year, which helps a lot. RJ's the same way. Our entire kicking return team, both punt return and kickoff return, has a lot of experienced guys. So I'd say the biggest thing in terms of the special teams is just a lot of guys that have had reps on the field and had the time in the meeting room and in practice to just get exposure and kind of get some time under their belts to go out there and just perform the way we're supposed to perform.
Go to Sam Connon from SI.
Hey, David, how's it going?
Great. How are you?
Good. So on when you dove to get the touchdown, who was it that kind of dove right on top of you? I couldn't tell.
It was actually Miles Jackson.
Okay.
He was the same position as me, just on the left side instead of the right side. And, I think we both kind of had the same initial thought process of, wow, this is happening, and just kind of a race to the ball. And God luckily put me there first.
Did you joke with him about kind of like racing to the ball, see who would get credit for the touchdown?
Yeah, we kind of laughed about it. I mean, Ollie kind of, he blessed both of us with the opportunity to go and get it. And, it happened to be my ball.
All right, thanks.
Let's go to Tracy Pearson from Bruin Report.
Hey, David. Your fourth year in the program. You've been playing some backup role at tight end. What would you ever envision that you would score a touchdown before you've even caught a pass? How does that feel in 4 years into the program?
Thank you for the question. I think nobody really envisions their first college touchdown being on special teams, but I'm not complaining at all. I think the biggest thing in terms of being my fourth year in the program is just coming here every day and just trying to do my job regardless of what the coaches asked me to do. I think that's part of what's made this team, take constant strides and put us in the position we are today. is that everybody comes out here and just works every day and just does what they're supposed to do and just does it for the man next to them. I think that's the best part about everybody on this team as well, mature enough to understand our roles and just fully grasp that and just run with it.
After you scored, it seemed like after you did a little bit of a celebration, you kind of went over to Ollie to maybe also hand him the ball. Talk about a little bit about that impulse and how he reacted to that.
It was just kind of one of those things where if Ollie hadn't been there and blocked that punt, then I couldn't have scored. And he's one of those guys that comes out here and grinds every day with us. And since the moment he's came here, he's had a great impact on this team. And I knew that he'd had history of blocking punts at Alabama, and I really wanted to kind of share that moment with him because had he not blocked it, then I wouldn't have had the opportunity to dive on it.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Go to Tony Siracusa from Last Word.
Hey, David, you talked about how obviously on special teams, you guys practice this kind of stuff. And, maybe you see something in another team's film. You said you didn't particularly see this with Hawaii. You didn't see any weakness in their formations with Hawaii, but you practice it in spring camp. You practice it all through the fall, but that's practice. What's it like when you actually see the ball get blocked in a game? I mean, what's your reaction time like when you actually see it happen for real? Is it different than what it feels like in practice?
Thank you for the question. Honestly, it's kind of one of those things that we've done punt block a couple of times in practice. It's one of those things that Coach Sage instills in the drills. But in the game, it was kind of one of those surreal moments where everything just slows down and it feels like you're going 1 mile an hour and everything around you is just frozen. And I saw it blocked, and then I just knew like somebody has to get on the ball. And I remember just running up to it and then kind of slow-mo scooping it up. And I didn't initially realize that I had landed on it completely until I kind of came to after I was on the ground, and I looked up and realized that we had scored. And it was kind of, we'd rep things like that in practice, but everything in the game just feels a little more special.
So after all those, probably hundreds of times of practicing it in camps, time after time after time, does it feel the same in a game? Did it feel the same? Did the reaction feel the same as it does in practice?
It kind of was one of those muscle memory things. I kind of just reacted and let it happen. But after the fact, that the joy of realizing that I just scored my first collegiate touchdown was nothing that I could have replicated in practice. Coach Kelly does a really good job of trying to make sure that everyone understands that every day is basically like a Super Bowl. We have to come out every day acting like it's a game day. But when you get out there on the field, everything is just a little different. And that was just kind of one of those moments that you can't really describe.
All right, let's finish up here with Ben.
I know you guys have your mantras about going 1-0 every week, every game's a Super Bowl, but coming off a big win to open the season, LSU coming in, does this feel special? Does this feel big? Do you feel a buzz around the team and everywhere you go right now?
Thank you for the question again, Ben. I wouldn't say it's too much different here on the team. The older guys just kind of started preaching that every week is kind of a nameless, faceless opponent. And honestly, I wouldn't say that the buzz is anything different this week. We've kind of had a different buzz since camp started. Everything's kind of felt a little different. You kind of taste it and feel it in the air. And part of that is that a lot of the older guys have kind of stepped up, and we've taken the younger guys under our wing and helped everyone come along and made sure that, everyone's progressing at the same rate and making sure the team is one. So I wouldn't say that there's anything different this week because, we've come out every day since fall camp was started, and even in the off season when we first started training with Coach Belton, and we've come out and known that, every week and every day is a game day, and you have to approach it that way if you want to win during the season.
All right, great. Thank you for your time, David.
Thank you all.
Go ahead. Yeah. Thanks, David. All right, we got Ollie Kaho joining us now. Again, if you have any questions for Ollie, please hit the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen. Ollie, we got you muted right now.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
So
Started with Ben Bolts from the LA Times.
Hey, Ollie, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing? Or how y'all doing?
Good, thank you so much. Take us through that punt block. David was saying you've done that. You had a history of doing that. So how many blocks is that for you now in college? And what kind of went into this one?
First of all, I just want to say I appreciate y'all time and having me. This will technically be my fourth block punt in my college career, as far as I can remember. But yeah, it'd technically be my fourth block punt as far as Saturday.
And can you tell us how the play developed, what you saw, and how you were able to do it?
And I basically was just doing my job. It was just wide open, and it was a situation I've been in before, and we practice it every day. And so it was just me executing the play. I didn't see it any other way. It's just doing my job for myself and for the team.
When you say wide open, did they miss a blocking assignment? Did you find a lane? How did you get in there?
I have no idea if they missed an assignment, but the A gap was wide open. That's where I was lined up at, and when it opened up, I just went through and practiced. Did what we practice every day, and that's just blocking the punt. As far as for me, it's kind of like a natural thing at this point. So I was just doing my job, and then it ended up being a big play and a touchdown for our team. So that's a plus.
You made such a habit of it. Do you have a nickname or anything for blocking punts and just having a nose for the ball?
No, I wouldn't say I got a nickname for it. Kind of just something I'm really comfortable with, though, for sure. When I'm in the situation, I got to make it happen. I got my teammates counting on me and my coaches, so I guess I would say it's my role of blocking punts. If it came to that point, like it did on Saturday, I just got to execute. But I wouldn't call it no name. I wouldn't have a nickname for it or anything like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to Mike Rigoletto from Bruin Report.
Hey, Ollie, how you doing?
Good, Mike. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Just two quick questions for you. First off, what was it like being in the Rose Bowl, your first experience wearing the blue and gold uniform? And what can you say about the defense and their, especially with the run defense, holding Hawaii to only 26 yards? What was that entire experience like?
Two good questions, but I say my experience here, my first experience in the Rose Bowl was one to remember for sure. My first time ever being in it, so I was taking it all in. My first college game in a UCLA uniform, so it felt great. It felt great to be back on the West Coast, playing in front of a lot of family, a lot of people I know back here. So I say it was a blessing and a great feeling. And as far as our defense and holding them to 10 points, was it 10 points?
10 points, 26 rushing yards.
Yeah, so I think that it kind of wasn't even a surprise to me, to be honest. It's what we do here at practice. You know what I mean? So, Coach Kelly and Coach Az do a very good job of going hard in practice, so Saturdays are easier. And I believe in that, and I think that's what showcased on Saturday. And yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go to James Williams from SoCal News Group.
Hey, Ollie, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good, doing good. Obviously, this is your first year at UCLA. What went into your decision to come here, and why was it the right fit for you?
It was a good decision to come here because it was close to my family. I think the opportunity to come see me play in person was huge for me. UCLA is a great university, great football program, a great school to graduate from, networking. I was just thinking more than football as well in the future. Coach Kelly's a great coach, has good connects with the NFL. So just, you know, a lot of good things coming out of this program, and I feel like Coach Kelly's only growing and getting better, and he getting me better as well. So I think it was just another opportunity to play football, play the game that I love, closer to my people, and for another great coach and a great university. So that's kind of just how I was looking at it coming here.
Was there any players on the roster that you were familiar with or that you had played with before?
No, I didn't play with anyone on the roster. I just knew him from recruiting, the Poly Bowl, things like that, the Army Bowl. Tyler Manoa is one of the people I knew before coming here. I think that was about it. Blaylock. Blaylock I played with at the opening finals. So I knew him in high school, or knew of him in high school. So those were probably the only two people that I knew before coming here.
Were they big on getting you adjusted and kind of getting you into the routine of what UCLA has to offer and where everything's at?
Yeah, they played a big part. I think everyone played a big part though, of helping me as far as playbook wise, feeling comfortable, feeling like a family here, feeling accepted. And you know, I'm just grateful for the opportunity. I tell Coach Kelly that all the time. I told him that after the game. I tell Coach Az that all the time, my position coach. You know, thank you for having me, and thank you for another opportunity to showcase myself and play the game that I love. So I'm appreciative of it.
Let's go to Tony Siracusa from Last Word.
Hey, Ollie.
So Tony, how you doing?
Hey, so I've got your stats up, and you are correct. You do have four blocked punts. But here's a stat you may not be aware of. Last year, you were the special teams player of the week for Bama coming out of the LSU game. So there's a little bit of irony as the Bruins host LSU this week. You have more familiarity with LSU than anyone else on the roster because UCLA has never played LSU before. What are you able to bring to preparation this week as everyone gets ready to play LSU?
That's a good question. I think as far as seeing them play for the last 3 years when I was at Alabama, I know what type of players certain players are. You know, I think that's good with helping out on the defensive side when we're scouting people. But I think it's more of just knowing how their team is, and they're a physical team. They're a well-coached team, hard-nosed football. So just letting my teammates know and my coaches know what type of game we're going into, kind of just giving them tips. I think that'll help us overall as a team. But I think that our coaches are doing a very good job of scouting them and helping us out here in practice so we can execute on Saturday.
Great. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Tony.
All right, let's go back to Ben.
You come from a program that plays a lot of big games. You've been in big game environments. Does this build up to this game Saturday feel familiar at all? Does it remind you of that in any way?
As far as familiar, yeah, definitely familiar. Just as far as watching film, watching specific players, reading like key wise and stuff like that, I think is similar to what I've been seeing in the past 3 years. But I think I'm looking at it as another game. I think we're all looking at it's just another game. Try not to make it too big. You know, I don't think that's what our goal is, to just want to know every week. I know you hear Coach Kelly say 1-0 every week. It's like we're playing the Super Bowl every week. We just taking one game at a time, and that's the way you got to do it to be successful. And right now we're focused on LSU. Hawaii's done with, so full focus is on LSU and what we got to do to win, and we're gonna do anything it takes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to wrap it up on that note. Thanks for your time, Ollie.
I appreciate you. Thank you, guys.